If you're just getting started in real estate, then this is what you need to do to get away from that 9 to 5 grind, that 9 to 5 job, which is just keeping you stuck in place. When I graduated college, I was absolutely determined I was not going to do a 9 to 5. Now, over the course of the years, there were times where my business failed and I had to go back and take a job, but I eventually escaped. I reached escape velocity. And when you're stuck in that job, it just feels terrible because you feel trapped. If you're like me, you feel trapped. You feel like a part of you is just being held down. Now, this isn't everyone, because if I had stayed in my 9 to 5, I would probably be a little bit further ahead, because all those times I lost everything and I had to start over, I had no backing. I had no cash flow backing. Everything fell apart. Whereas with a 9 to 5 job, you have steady income. You're bankable. So if you want to do real estate investing, or if you want to be a real estate agent for extra income, keep the 9 to 5. With that being said, though, if you have a special personality type where you're hard-headed, where you're stubborn, and you refuse to be stuck in a 9 to 5 like me, here's the steps that you need to take to escape and get out of that job forever. I remember when I first started, I was not going to settle for average and typical. I was not going to settle to be stuck in a job. I was not going to settle to be stuck in a cubicle going to the same place day in and day out. Everything becomes a blur. I could not tolerate that. I could not stand that. And if you're one of those people, if you're one of those people who feel the same way, that you just cannot be stuck in a situation like that, welcome to my world. Be aware this is not going to be the path that's easy. In fact, it's going to be one of the most difficult paths you choose to take, but it will shape you. It will forge you just like a diamond. The pressure of being an entrepreneur, the pressure of running your own business with no backup plan. The ships are burned. There is no backup plan. You are on your own. It is that fire that will make you. It is that fire that will allow you to escape that 9 to 5. So first off, here are some rules about money that I wish I had known when I first started. The first off being that cash flow is very, very important. If you want to make a real estate business that gets you out of your 9 to 5, you need to be very aware of the fact that you're going to have times where there's no cash flow. There's going to be times where you don't have deal flow, and you need an income stream of some sort to fill that gap. That could be a spouse, that could be a partner, it could be a side gig. It could be another aspect of real estate. I have property management as one of my main cash flow income streams, so that you're not totally reliant on your commissions. You're not totally reliant on flipping a house or wholesaling or assigning a house. It is a very, very difficult place to be. It is a very, very scary place to be if your entire business is dependent on those lump sum cash transactions, because those transactions will dry up at some point. And if you don't have a cash reserve, if you don't have a war chest, then you're going to find yourself in very, very serious trouble. So understand that, and either have a huge war chest of money sitting around, or a cash flow business of some sort that you're doing with this. And it doesn't have to be real estate. You could do any sort of cash flow business and combine it with this, even if it's a part-time gig, a side gig, just something that will cover your bills. If you want to escape the 9 to 5, speaking of bills, you need to drive your bills way down. Cut out as much of the monthly expense as possible. When you can cut out monthly expenses, it takes less to live on. So when you reach those lean times, you will be able to get through them. If you max out your monthly bills to your monthly budget based on a really good year, then the next year when it's not so good, you're going to be in trouble. So realize that. Lower your bills, get some cash flow. That's going to be the secret sauce that actually gets you out of your 9 to 5. So look in real estate and look for ways that you could generate cash flow. Property management is a big one. Rental income is a big one. Anything you could do to receive a monthly income, think out of the box and do it. Let's look at adjacent businesses to real estate. Insurance is a cash flow business. A lawn care service can be a cash flow business if you have contracts. Any sort of business that you can generate reoccurring, consistent revenue that you can depend upon could be a cash flow business. Another one for real estate agents is broker price opinions. They don't pay a lot. They take a bit of time, but they can be a consistent source of income for you. Figure out your worst case scenario. Figure out what you're going to do in a worst case scenario where you have no cash flow, no money coming in. What are you going to do? How are you going to handle it? Another truth about going into real estate full time is it's a business. You have to understand that a business requires skill sets of a business owner. This is why before I recommended that many of you might be better off in that 9 to 5, because building a business, the truth about building a business is it's hard. It's difficult. Most people are not cut out for it. Most people are not made to be business owners. It's just a simple truth. You have to develop sales skills, managerial skills, organizational skills, and all of these skills, they take time to develop. So understand, when you decide you want to do a real estate, you want to escape your 9 to 5 through real estate investing, it's probably not real estate investing. It's probably a real estate business. So understand, real estate investing and a real estate business are two different things. Another reason why, if you have a 9 to 5, you can actually invest in real estate on the side. That's what investing is. Investing is for your future. If you require your investing for right now, you're probably in a business. If your business is flipping houses, that's a business. That's not investing. So understand the difference between real estate investing and a real estate business. If you're a real estate agent, realize commissions come, commissions go. If you want to build steady commissions, you're going to have to build a big marketing budget. You're most likely going to have to build a team, because to generate a consistent income, you have to scale. And if you're a real estate agent, to generate that consistent income, you're going to have to scale and grow your marketing budget, grow your deal inflow, and also realize you're going to have ups and downs. So you have to build that war chest of income, of money, so that when you do have lower months, you got that money there to still keep the lights on, to still keep the marketing going, to still keep things moving forward. And then the final thing that no one talks about when it comes to building and escaping the 9 to 5 is that it takes time. A lot of people, instead of planting the seed of your business and watering it, nurturing it, and letting it grow over time, adjusting. Sometimes maybe you have too much water. Sometimes the plant needs more sunlight, just like your business. Sometimes your business needs different aspects. It needs you to learn different skills. As you go through different phases, different growth phases, you got to learn different skills, different levels of this process. But the thing is, this takes time. A lot of people, they don't want to plant a seed. They want to throw a redwood tree down into the ground and call it done. It doesn't work that way. When you build a business, it takes time. It takes consistency, and it takes years. It takes years to build a business that is solid, a business that is strong. A minimum 3 to 5 years. Minimum 3 to 5 years. There's very few 1 year hit wonders. 3 to 5 years, and that's just to get it solid. And guess what? Most businesses, the stats say, are going to fail. Your real estate business is not going to be any different. You might fail. But the question is, are you going to keep going? Are you going to be relentless? Are you going to learn from your mistakes and realize, maybe it's not going to take me 3 to 5 years. Maybe it's going to take me 5 to 7 years. Or maybe you do succeed in 3 to 5 years, but year 7, everything collapses. Are you still willing to keep moving forward? Are you still willing to keep being relentless to pursue your goal of not being stuck in a 9 to 5? That is something that you have to figure out for yourself. Is it easier for you just to stay in a 9 to 5? Are you happy with that? Because the grass always looks greener on the other side. Is it appropriate for you, who you are, to go build a business, to endure all that is involved with building a business? The good, the bad, the ups, the downs. Going back to my original point, for 90% of you, 99% of you, may not be. But for those of you, that 1%, that 5%, 10%, that you feel that burning inside, you feel that your soul is just being sucked away from going to that job every day, then escaping the 95 might be right for you, but you have to be willing to sacrifice. Are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to take that road that has lots of stones, lots of roots, lots of boulders in the way? Are you willing to take that road? Are you willing to get hurt, stumble, fall, embarrass yourself? If the answer is yes, then you might be one of those. You might be one of the 1%, 5%, or 10%. And if you are, get a game plan together on your finances. That's the most important thing. Get a game plan together on your finances. Start taking action. Realize it's not going to happen overnight. It's a 3 to 5 year process at a minimum. And if you work it, you pursue it, over time, if you're relentless, you will succeed.